Hey guys, John here from Bring the SEO. I want to share something with you today that I shared with the members inside my SEO Accelerator program quite some time ago. And I was reminded of this today when speaking with one of my students during a private coaching call. This is something that I think most of us, in fact, probably all of us can relate to, that work in the SEO industry, although this isn't limited just to SEO. I'm sure anyone that's done any form of, offered any form of digital marketing services can relate to this. But I wanted to share this example just as a way of helping SEO consultants visualize potentially where they might be now and the potential growth that may lay ahead. Because I see a lot of people struggling down here at level 1. I'll go through these levels in just a minute, but the whole aim of this video is to help give you something to think about in terms of being able to see the bigger picture. This is tremendously important. And I wish someone had shared something like this with me many years ago when I was struggling to find my way. So I'll jump into it. As you can see, I've got 5 levels across the top. These are presented in ascending order, level 1 through to level 5. Each step represents what I think are key stages that an SEO consultant goes through or moves through as they develop not only themselves, but also their business and, ultimately their agency, earning potential, client base, and everything else. So let's start with level 1. This is the level which I refer to as chaotic. Chaotic can be summarized by the following. No process or systems in place, nothing is documented, and everything is high stress. Essentially, everything's on fire. The earning potential for anyone who's operating in this state is usually around $35,000 a year. I think it would be fair to say that almost all freelancers are in this position. I've certainly spent some time there, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, it's absolutely horrible. And this is partially why I started the SEO Accelerator program. Although I don't necessarily work with beginners, I know how painful and frustrating it can be when you're stuck down at this level. So level 1, chaotic. No processes or systems in place, nothing is documented, and everything is high stress. You're probably working 60 to 80 hours a week, and you've got nothing to show for it. At this stage, another thing that I should probably mention, at this level, you're trying to do everything yourself. You're doing sales, you're doing client management, you're running the actual campaigns, you're doing technical SEO, you're doing reporting, you're doing content, you're building links, you're trying to do the marketing, you're trying to get clients. Again, I've been in this position. It's absolutely awful. And I think for most SEO consultants that stay here too long, they just don't last. And this leads to, of course, burnout, which is the main reason why most SEO consultants fail. They give up and they go and do something else. They go back to a job, or they just bounce around trying different service offerings. Now, the next level up is level 2, and this is the reactive state. And as you can see, I've got it summarized as some processes. They've got some processes in place. However, nothing is followed, and time is often wasted resolving unforeseen issues and problems. So, this probably ties in with level 1 somewhat, although I think a lot of the SEO consultants that I've spoken with, and some of which I've coached, they're well aware of the issues that they face, and they're trying to move away from level 1, where it's just them doing everything and nothing's documented. So they have gone about potentially maybe hiring one person to help, or if they're still working on their own, they've tried to write up some SOPs and follow some sort of structure. But again, even though they implement or try to implement processes and steps and everything else, very often those processes are abandoned because jobs are often, they're one-time projects. Everything they work on is different. Everything has its own unique set of requirements, and they spend all of their time in a reactive state running around putting out fires. Now, I think it'd be probably fair to say that there are just as many people in this state, level 1, in the reactive state, as they are level 2 as there are in level 1. Now, these could almost be combined, but again, I think people that are in this state are trying to do a little bit better, but typically, like I said, they're one-time projects and everything becomes, they wake up each morning and say, okay, what fires or disasters are we going to have to deal with today? Right, now level 3, this is where it starts to improve. Level 3 is what I call the proactive level. And this is essentially where you have refined systems and processes implemented and followed at all times. Now, your earning potential, of course, goes up $500,000 a year once you're at this state. Now, I should point out that these are rough summaries only. These aren't exact figures, but this is what I've seen, having worked in the SEO industry, for as long as I have, as well as because I'm fortunate, I get to see and work with other SEO consultants. I get to see inside their operations, and I know roughly where they're at. But you can see the reactive state, just in case I forgot to mention it. You're generally doing about, maybe you might be doing $8,000 to $10,000 a month, $100,000 a year, even in that reactive state. The proactive state, as you can see, your earnings go up exponentially. Now, I've been through all of these stages, admittedly. I'm probably level 4.5, maybe moving into level 5. But I spent some time both in the reactive state and the proactive state. And the primary difference between the proactive state and the reactive state is that you have processes and systems in place that can be applied to each and every campaign that you manage. Now, I find that most SEO consultants that are working in the proactive state are far more organized. They've got their shit together. They've got a decent client base, and they're making reasonable money. However, the problem in this state for most SEO consultants is that they're working as generalists. And this is essentially where I spent many years before niching down and specializing. So they're working as generalists. That then means that every single campaign they're working on, they have what I refer to in the training as steep learning curves. So they're having to learn the terminology, they're having to learn the pain points, the keywords, the type of content, competition, and everything else that comes, all of those other challenges that come with running an SEO campaign. This by no means is a terrible place to be, and there are many SEO consultants that operate as generalists, and they're quite happy to be there. But trying to scale that is incredibly difficult, and I believe to some extent not possible. Now, the next level is level 4. Now, this is where the magic really starts to happen. Now, level 4 is what I refer to as the automated. This is where everything becomes automated. And as you can see, I've got it summarized by services are packaged and presented in new ways that eliminate the need for complicated processes and systems. Now, this is where your earning potential really starts to climb up. And this is what I teach in the SEO Accelerator program over at Bring the SEO. This is what we refer to as productizing your service offering, right? So instead of operating as a generalist and you're running around all over the place with different campaigns and trying to solve different problems, you've niched down. You niche down, you specialize, you charge a premium, and you become an expert in your chosen niche so that you can, charge premium rates, and you can work with predictability and forecasting around outcomes. Most of my students come in at one of these two states, typically not at the chaotic level because they're usually beginners, but certainly people in the proactive and reactive state. Once they learn the importance around niching down, productizing their service offerings, doing one thing. This is ultimately about making more by doing less, doing one thing, focusing on one service offering for one type of marketplace, one niche, one solution for one problem. That's when the magic starts to happen. And as you can see, the earning potential when you move into this stage, climbs again. And typically I see, anywhere from $1 million and up. The beauty of this is the ability, like I said, the ability to work with predictability, right? Around outcomes, you're able to forecast. This is where you get into the whole, okay, we can start now making really bold offers, right? Really irresistible offers that are incredibly attractive to our potential clients or prospects, because we can start making things, we can start making offers around guaranteed outcomes. But this stage here is an ideal place to be, and it's very, very efficient. And I think best of all is that this is where you can build a real business, because you're not caught up in fulfillment. Once you build out repeatable processes, you can document those processes and you can essentially just plug people in. Now, level 5, this is a level that I haven't yet spent any time in. However, I have seen some people move up to this level, and it is really fascinating to see the types of things that they're doing and absolutely the money that they're making, because I know of probably 2 people that come to mind that have moved into this space where they started down here, level 1, chaotic. They were doing done-for-you services, and then they slowly moved their way through each stage. Proactive, they niched down, and then they got to a point where they'd spent so much time, and this is again something I talk about in the SEO Accelerator program. If you spend enough time, say at level 4, and you're serving the same people in the same niche repeatedly for years on end, you'll start to see patterns and problems that exist in that space that present themselves over time as opportunities. And this is where you can start moving into things like software, training, consulting, private coaching, all types of different derivatives of SEO or the done-for-you service, where you can say, okay, listen, we specialize in SEO and we can do these things, but we know this space really well, and we have a team inside our operation that can help you solve your problems around team building, or solve your problems around marketing, or solve your problems around sales. Or we can provide this piece of software that you can plug in and you can use it inside your business, and it's going to change everything. It's going to make everything so much easier, because let's face it, we all know that there are plenty of businesses who are still doing things in Excel spreadsheets and scribbling notes on KFC napkins. So this level here, when you start innovating at level 5, as I said, I've got it summarized, highly specialized products and services that are new to the industry. They don't always need to be new, but a lot of times it's a new service offering, or it's a new way of pitching something in a, it's a way of pitching an existing service in a completely different way, which is highly specialized and sought after, that solves really big problems that can be priced at a real premium. And for the people that I know that have reached this level, they're doing in excess of $10 million plus a year. So something to think about, guys. I hope you found this useful. I wanted to share this today because I think it gives all of us something to think about. Like I said, I've operated at all 4 levels. I haven't yet made it to 5. Is that something that I want to work towards? I don't know. There are a lot of SEO consultants that say, hey, I'm at level 3 and I'm happy to be here. That's fine. I'm not saying that you all need to push to get to level 5, but certainly you can't spend time at level 1 or level 2. At the very least, you need to get here. And if you want to go to the next level, that's essentially what I teach. Like I said, I teach this in the SEO Accelerator program, so that you're not running around with your hair on fire, dealing with constant problems, and you've got staff coming and going, and every single project that you work on has a different and unique set of requirements, and you're doing nothing but spinning your wheels. All right, I'll leave it at that for today, guys. If you have a question or a comment, post it below. And of course, if you're interested in checking out the SEO Accelerator program, follow the link that's beneath this video. Cheers.